What's up, everyone? Swag here, and today I'm going to be talking about the real woke YouTubers. Let's get started. Okay, so the first person I'm going to talk about is Matt Walsh. Now, the first time I heard about this dude was when, I saw his debate with a trans person on Dr. Phil, and Matt Walsh, I've agreed with some of his views when it comes to, transgender and stuff like that. But some stuff he's kind of all over the place. Like, he's saying Mr. Beast sold out to, like, the trans cult. I don't know about that. But there has been stuff where Matt Walsh has, he's not really the best, alright? And, there was a book he was reading about consent, and basically a child said, not wanting to hug people, and it was just a book about consent, basically. And he's basically making it weird and saying that the kid's a brat and stuff like that. And a lot of people noticed it. A lot of people were like, no, dude, it's just a book about consent. Speaking of consent, Matt Walsh, when it comes to consent, the dude is just, he's all over the place, kind of. There's this video of him talking about consent, and it's so confusing. Just here's a clip.
In our minds, we have really two categories. There are non-consensual sex, which is bad, and then we have consensual sex, which we think is always good. That's what the culture says. That's what a lot of us have, most of us, it seems like that's the idea that we have. It's like, as long as they're consenting adults who choose to do this thing, then it must be okay. But the reality is that there's a lot of bad sex. There's a lot of immoral sex. There's a lot of disordered, gross, harmful sex that is nonetheless consensual. All of the cases I mentioned, they're all immoral, bad, gross, harmful. But they're not all rape. Some of them were, not all of them. And until we acknowledge that there are other ways to have immoral sexual relations with a person, until we reclaim sexual morality and sexual boundaries, we will be stuck trying to condemn all bad sex on the grounds of consent, which expands the idea of consent so broadly as to render it meaningless, so that when we really need it, when there is actual non-consensual sex happening, we don't have any meaningful way to describe it, because the word consent has become is increasingly means nothing, because we've expanded it so much, and we've turned it into this complicated equation where nobody really knows when consent is happening. And even if a person does something willingly and is like, yes, let's do this, but even that might not be consent, because we've turned consent into this super confusing calculus, which it isn't. It's actually very simple.
Okay, a lot to unpack there. Pretty confusing a bit, and Matt Walsh in this video, he looks like he's opened his third fucking eye. The dude looks like a fucking wreck in his own car, and he's filming this video. Jesus. Dude, he's just filming a video in his car instead of usually going on his table to film, for his show. But, I don't know, but he makes consent sound so confusing. And I feel like he's trying to bring a point across, but it can't really get to a point, because it's just so confusing. He's making it so confusing. He's saying that people make consent so confusing. I don't know what that means. People can consent to something, and then they can change their mind. People can do that midway during sex. Maybe they consent to they're having sex, and then they say to stop, and then they stop. There's nothing really confusing about consent. Consent is, like Matt Walsh said at the end, it's very simple. He's making it out to be so complicated. Now let's talk about the the C is for Consent book that he reviewed. Remember, Matt Walsh was basically, it was basically just a book about consent, about a kid who just doesn't want to hug family members without, because he doesn't feel like it. And Matt thinks he's a brat because of it. And there's a lot of people who are autistic or just very shy in general to just hug people, even if it's their family members. It's totally normal. It's just about consent. This book's just about consent. It's not supposed to be weird or anything. But Matt says this.
My kids know that when a family member comes over to visit, you go and give them a hug. It's not an option. It's not a choice. You are required to do that because that's polite. But the major problem here is that the book explicitly sexualizes physical contact between family members.
I mean, you see what I mean? He's making it weird. He's saying that the book sexualizes contact with family members, but he's the one who's sexualizing it. You see what I mean? Like, this book is just simply about consent. I mean, I remember not wanting to hug people, family members, and that's totally okay. I was shy back then. I'm autistic, and a lot of autistic people, shy people, just don't hug family members sometimes. And yeah, it's just a book about consent, and he's making it so fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, one more thing I want to talk about Matt Walsh is his weird take. I mean, okay, I'll talk about a few things, not just one thing. His take on 16-year-olds and consent. It's so weird. Just take a look at this audio clip.
You would have 17... Okay, I would see nothing wrong with a society like what was happening up until about 1950, where 17-year-old girls are getting married to 17 or 18-year-old guys that are not kids, they're men. Yes, it's not good that these girls in high school are getting pregnant. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying though is that if society was if society was different and that we stopped insisting that you're a kid until you're 25 and we just deal with the reality that at about 16 you're an adult who is mature and can make decisions. You are that at 16. I don't care what anybody says.
All right, so now that we've talked about Matt Walsh, let's talk about this other guy, V-Shred. Now, V-Shred is a guy I saw one of his ads, and, what's noticeable about him is, he's got a nice body, he's muscular, and he said that he had his own quiz to his own website. Like, now, doing these things that people say make you lose weight don't actually make you lose weight. So just join my quiz, take my quiz, and follow my workouts. And, I mean, he has the body, so it must be true. But the truth is, this guy's a scammer. This guy, I mean, he does some fake workouts. He does whatever the hell this is.
What is that? What is that?
Dude even faked in one of his ads going on a Joe Rogan podcast.
Doing cardio if you're trying to lose weight, because there's just simply better ways. Steady state cardio actually releases what's known as cortisol. Cortisol is your body's stress hormone. Cortisol actually promotes fat storage. If you don't like doing steady state cardio, you need to stop, because it's not a quality way of losing weight long term, and you're going to hate it. And those both work together, eventually make you quit, and that's basically a recipe for disaster. The science of weight loss was cracked a long time ago. It's not a trend, it's facts. Following all those like trendy fad diets, all those trending workouts that you see online is literally a waste of time. One of the biggest fitness myths is when people say carbs make you fat. Carbs don't make you fat. I'm a big donut guy. All these foods that you don't think that you ever get to eat when following a diet, I'm eating them and I'm in the best shape of my life. There's already a proven research-backed way to lose weight and keep it off. I already did all the hard work to simplify all that information into a very simple and easy to follow plan that literally anybody can do. This is our body type quiz. Free quiz. It's 6 different questions.
How long does it take me? How long?
Legit 20 seconds. You can do it.
Seriously?
Yeah, you can do it right now. And then at the end of it, it tells you what your body type is, but it also tells you the 3 most important things to do based on what your body type is. And it's completely free. Yeah, click the link if anybody's watching this, want to figure out your body type, and I'll show you how to get in shape.
So yeah, you saw that, but Joe Rogan actually responded to this, and he said that he actually had no idea who V-Shred was.
There's also so many imposters, right? Have you seen this V-Shred idiot?
No.
Oh, dude.
I have seen that More Plates, More Dates has been
He
saying
did an
must be
evisceration
stopped.
of him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is.
Oh, my God. It's funny. Based on what Derek said that YouTube is mostly targeting people who know nothing. That means I know nothing. Because this guy gets served up to me every YouTube video I ever watch.
Really?
I've never watched a YouTube video
you-
where he is not getting served up to me.
That's interesting. Algorithms are fascinating, right? Because I don't get served up him at all.
Oh, yeah. I get served him up. I mean, for the last 2 years, I've been served him up on 9 out of 10 videos I watch on YouTube.
And what is his deal?
I mean, just a total huckster.
I've not looked into it at all.
He's a really good-looking guy with a great physique who has no idea what he's talking about and is selling supplements.
So the truth is, V-Shred is not the owner or the creator of his website or whatever. He's a spokesman, all right? He's a spokesmodel. The real scam was created by some unfit dudes. And, yeah, V-Shred is just getting paid to basically be a sellout and basically say whatever these guys want him to say. So, yeah. Okay, so the last person I'm going to talk about, I don't really have that much to criticize about because, well, I've been, trying to look into the case, and what the guy says sounds believable, but there's two things that he needs to be criticized for. So the person I'm talking about is Isaac Cappy. If you don't know, he's famous for being a Hollywood actor and saying that a lot of other Hollywood actors were pedophiles and there was a pedophile ring, and some stuff sounds believable, like his story about Seth Green and Claire Grant, but other stories basically saying that there's cannibalism in Hollywood sound a bit unbelievable. But yeah, the guy seems reliable and believable, but there's two things that need to be criticized about him. I mean, the dude's dead, but the thing is, the dude was part of QAnon, which was a group that stormed the U.S. Capitol, and, they're fucking crazy. But, yeah, this is what Cappy had to say when he joined QAnon.
A lot of people have some doubts about QAnon, and I can tell you, without a doubt, QAnon is real, okay? QAnon is 1,000% real. And for the doubters out there, okay? Let's just look at a few facts. QAnon called the Saudi purge before it happened. QAnon called the North Korea peace deal before it happened. What else? There's tons of stuff, okay? I don't want to get into it exactly, but there's a lot of doubters with the truth community. Now, granted, some of the so-called truth community are, they just, they are very skeptical, and I get it, because there's been so much infiltration. There's been so much infiltration by, just bad guys, by CIA, by, people that want to control the narrative. QAnon is real, 1,000%.
Now, to be completely fair to Isaac joined Q, before they stormed the Capitol, and he died, before they stormed the Capitol too. Isaac died in 2019. The QAnon stormed the Capitol in 2021, so he wasn't there to see it, and, hopefully Isaac wouldn't have, supported, going to the Capitol, or, like, the whole QAnon storming the Capitol, so maybe he would have left if he saw that, but I don't know. But another thing Isaac has, done is, trust people in QAnon. Like, his accusations against Tom Hanks. Now, I'm not saying that Tom Hanks, he says that Tom Hanks is a pedophile, and I'm not saying that Tom Hanks is, not shady at all. I mean, Tom Hanks, I think, definitely knew about what Weinstein was doing and what was going on, and he just pretended that he didn't know. But Isaac says that believes the story from someone named Sarah Ruth Ashcraft, who claims that she was raped by Tom Hanks when she was 13. Now, there wouldn't be anything wrong with just making an accusation. I mean, yeah, making an accusation like that is pretty big, but I mean, to take it from Sarah Ruth Ashcraft, who claims that Tom Hanks impregnated her when she was 13, just saying that and that there's DNA evidence to prove it when she has not shown the DNA evidence to prove it.
I would like to see it. No. Ah, dang it.
So yeah, she's not the most reliable, and she also claims that Jaden Smith is her son. Yeah, no, I don't know about that one, but yeah. So basically what I'm saying is Sarah Ruth Ashcraft is not the most reliable. I'm not saying her story against Tom Hanks isn't true, but saying that you have DNA evidence against him saying that he impregnated you at 13, that your dad sold you to Tom Hanks, and that, Tom Hanks was raping you. I mean, the thing is, like, if he were to do that, why would he let you live and just let you go? I mean, it seems like they would kill you afterwards, like, so no one would find out. But I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about basically, and yeah.